All right, we're going to speak now to Mr. Brad Cabana, who got a little bit of news today, and not necessarily the news you were hoping for, sir.
That's right. Yeah, it wasn't particularly good, but, kind of getting used to that.
Yeah. So, listen, I didn't understand how this was going to happen. I guess I heard that she was going to take a recess and then come back with her decision, but I kind of sort of thought that there was more to it than her mulling it over and saying, no, this is how I feel about your issue or your statements, your problem. I really thought that there was a way for her to get an outside kind of a decision or opinion on this, but it really is just a matter of her saying, no, I don't think I am biased. We're going to keep going.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. If the justice decides that he or she isn't in a conflict, then just keep going on. However, it can be appealed, right? When it's appealed, it goes in front of the three Supreme Court judges in the Court of Appeal, and
no matter which way you cut it, in the end, it does still come down to being a subjective thing. But there's levels and degrees of subjectivity. This seems to be sort of like like I say, if I have an issue with somebody and I say I think this is unfair, it's very unusual that they would be the ones to decide whether it's fair or not. But I guess in certain jurisdictions and contexts, that's the way it is.
Yeah, in Newfoundland, Labrador, the presiding judge decides themselves whether they're in a conflict of interest or not. There's some other jurisdictions that do the same as well. And of course, you have the recourse to go to the Court of Appeal, but then you also have a lot more work to do that and a lot more expense to do that. And so there's all that added on to it as well.
All right. So at least it has afforded you a little bit more time, I guess. And has that helped you any? Well,
for instance, as of today, 8:30 this morning, actually, the Federal Attorney General of Canada has been served and has had the documents for 10 days now. So I should be able to bring up the water. However, in this current case, this justice won't allow me to bring it up unless I bring it up in a completely separate application, which is going to require, a ton of time, a ton of resources and everything else. And, frankly, it's going to waste a lot of court's time because they both deal with the same issues. So
because she's already ruled on that this time, you have to start over with that one.
Well, if she remains the justice, yes. I would have to probably start a complete separate action, when it has basically to do with the same thing.
So it's been decided that it is going to be her, isn't it? Isn't that what you said today, essentially, that it's still me?
Yes, but like I said earlier, that's open to appeal, right?
All right, yeah.
To the three judges of the appeals court. So
how much time and money is that going to cost?
Well, it's going to cost a lot more money, and it's going to cost some time. So it's grating. And there's certain elements of the decision that I received that are troublesome, but I can't really get into it now with you. I mean, I will certainly put them in, if I decide to go ahead with the appeal, I'll certainly put them on paper. But, there's some real problems with the situation, and, I'm definitely not satisfied with her decision.
Is your enthusiasm for this racket waning? I know that it's a real strain in lots of ways, financially included. Are you thinking now that this has probably gone as far as you really want to take it, since it doesn't look like you're going to have the tools you need to fight it properly?
Oh, absolutely not.
No?
I mean, no, absolutely not. No, there's some, there's a lot of people out there just simply don't understand how, for instance, when you go into this, you build that dam on Muskrat Falls, right? And you have a water management agreement that is not constitutional. Well, when that comes to fruition, when Hydro-Quebec decides, that they're going to level us with it, that's going to be upwards of $10 billion down the drain. I mean, already we've spent $1 billion on an agreement that is unconstitutional. So, the damage that will do to Newfoundland will be irreparable. It will be irreparable. We'll never be able to recover from that. And so, I don't really have a choice, do I? I have to go on, because if I don't, it's over for Newfoundland Labrador financially.
And you haven't found anybody with a pretty good legal background to explain to you any way that you are wrong on that.
Well, it's established law. It's you asked 3 weeks ago. You asked for someone from the provincial government to come on and refute that. Did you not?
I did, yeah.
Have you had any response from them?
Zero.
Well, it is already established law. The case, the Reversion Act decision by the Supreme Court of Canada is crystal clear. And basically, frankly, this has got to do with when, way back when Mr. Williams was Premier, he decided he's going to, do a little bit of, what's the saying, too cute by half. He's going to try and put some lipstick on a pig and put it through. But the problem with that is that when we get called on it, 4 or 5 years down the road, when we got the dam built and we go to implement that agreement on Hydro-Quebec, and they say, no, then guess what? The people in Newfoundland, Labrador are going to be literally, what? And
I just find it, as a lot of people do, I find it difficult to believe that all of this legal expertise the province has at its disposal have somehow gotten this wrong.
No, they haven't gotten it wrong. They're deliberately doing it. They know the gamble they're taking. If you read, they put out those documents that came out right before, if you remember, right before sanctioning. There's a whole load of documents the provincial government put out, right? Backing their claims, right?
Yeah.
One of them was a legal opinion by Department of Natural Resources, and it said that it was discussing using Section 92 of the Constitution, right, to get more power, and why that wasn't really an option for Newfoundland Labrador. All right. In that, if you read that document, it outlines basically the things they have to try and avoid so that they're not found unconstitutional. Because if they are found unconstitutional, it's going to be billions and billions of dollars in legal reparations to Hydro-Quebec, which will, in their words, bankrupt CFLCO. Now, you read that document, you'll see what I'm saying is true. So what they're doing is, you can't take the operational control away from Hydro-Quebec without violating the power contract. It's just impossible. That's right in the power contract, whether we like it or not, which we don't like it. So, when that happens, and that's what the Water Management Agreement does, it's not just about, with Hydro-Quebec, it's not just about, how many megawatts they're entitled to. There's other parts of the power contract, too, that are very significant. And this is where it goes into the unconstitutional boundaries, and that's where we're going to get caught, and it's, the province, what can I tell you? The province, for whatever reason, Williams and company and Dunnerdale and the worst of them have decided that they're going to take this gamble.
Okay. We've got to run and well over time for break, but it's a fascinating thing you're doing, and I'm going to follow along very carefully. Just before I let you go, though, I do want to say thanks for stepping into Pat's dilemma, and it looks like we're just about there. We need but the furniture is going to be auctioned off on Saturday if she doesn't get the little bit of money she needs to satisfy the bill there at the storage unit, and we're doing pretty good. Another $100 would be fantastic if there's somebody out there who can, or a few people who can contribute to it, but amazing that since last night we have this issue for her pretty much conquered, and she's going to be able to get her furniture and not have to worry about it. It's fantastic, and you stepped up to the plate, and I really thank that. Thank you for that.
No problem, Pete. I encourage everyone else to do the same so we can get it done for Pat.
Okay, Brad, I better take off. Thanks again. We'll talk again soon. Righto. Bye-bye.